Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Coaching Show. My name is Brenda Reynolds with the F Words of Life. Super excited to have you back here today on social media. And if you're new, say hello in the comments. If you're a veteran of the show and you've been watching for a while, make sure you say hi in the comments and let me know that you're watching and what value you're getting. Love to have you follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook. It's just facebook.com or instagram.com/the F words of life. Make sure you're following. I do post different things on Instagram versus Facebook. The videos are typically the same, but the postings are different. So hopefully you're following me. As we get people jumping on here, just again want to welcome you back to another show. And I was thinking today, man, we've had some great sports going on lately in the world, in our country. And if you don't know, I am a huge sports fan. One of the things as a coach, as a speaker, as a trainer, as a motivator, I tend to go to sports analogies quite a bit. And a lot of my female clients, and I have, a lot of female clients, that don't relate to sports, we're like, okay, Brenda, you got to get, more analogies. So over the course of my career, over the past, 15, 20 years, I've really, in coaching and training, learn to use different metaphors and different analogies beyond just sports. However, today I am going to talk about sports because I am a sports fanatic. I love sports of all kinds. I remember watching sports growing up on TV. Again, we only had 4 channels when I was growing up, so a lot of times it was sports. My dad was an athletic coach, and so he was a teacher as well as an athletic coach. He started with boys baseball, high school baseball. He was a high school baseball, basketball, and football star, believe it or not, in all 3. And just recently I got to go back to his high school and see where he played. It was after he passed away, but my aunt took me on a tour and I'd never seen it, and I saw the football field and whatever. So little rabbit trail there. But anyway, so I grew up around sports, but when I was little, at 5 years old, I started playing t-ball. And my mom loved sports too. And so I had 2 parents who loved sports and believed in team sports specifically and the values that it could train you in, not just the physicality, but, all the character development that you can do through sports, and for me specifically team sports. And so when I was 5, I started in t-ball, and my dad was my coach and my mom was the assistant coach. And all the way through high school, I was the only kid in high school, I think, that every basketball game I ever played, both of my parents were there. Even when I got into college and I just played intramural sports, my parents would come 45 minutes away and occasionally watch the game. At the time, super embarrassing to a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, right? Just playing an intramural sport. But my parents loved watching me play, and they taught me that it was just about doing your best. And so I learned so many things from sports, but I love to play sports, but I love to watch sports. I love from a coaching perspective, not from an athletic coach, but from a life coach, a business coach, a mindset coach, a productivity coach, a success coach, which I consider myself kind of all those different types of things. Watching professional athletes at the peak of their game is fascinating to me. So this week we have going on, tonight is the finals for the Stanley Cup, if you're a hockey fan. And I'm really not a hockey fan until it comes to the finals, and then I really do enjoy watching the playoffs and the finals. And it's Game 7. And Game 7 of 7, this is it, do or die, right? And you've got a classic team, and then you've got a team who's never won the championship, has never won the Stanley Cup. So I am going to be watching that, either on the replays or on live, I'm not sure. But, that's going on this evening. We've got the NBA Finals going on, and I'm a huge basketball fan. I do love basketball, college level, professional level, and I definitely love watching over the past few years the Golden State Warriors. Just fascinating team dynamic, individual dynamic, and then obviously they're going through a lot of challenges right now. If you follow them at all, Kevin Durant had been out for a month, and he played the other night, and he ruptured his Achilles. And, he was doing so well. He had like 12 points in the first 11 minutes, or in 11 minutes played. And it was just phenomenal to see his commitment to excellence, to being a champion mindset. And even though he got injured, he did it not only for himself, but he did it for the team. And you can't predict these types of injuries. And there's a lot of controversy about this, and I'm not going to get into that. But what I loved was his mindset and his heart. He wanted to do it for himself. He wanted to do it for his team. They're going for a three-peat. Again, historic, right? And they're down. They're behind. And so, again, it's another do or die game tonight, or tomorrow night, game 6 of the NBA Finals. What else do we have going on? Tomorrow begins the PGA, which is golf, the U.S. Open, which is, a huge, massive, major tournament. This year it's at Pebble Beach, which is one of the most well-known golf courses probably in the world. And, there's a lot of talk. Brooks Koepka is going for a three-peat, which has only been done once in the history of the U.S. Open. And it wasn't Tiger Woods. It was over 100 years ago. So again, just looking at this competitive spirit, both in team sports and individual sports. We've got the Women's World Cup going on in soccer. And man, the USA came out of the gates flying 13-0. And, again, there's controversy about that, right? But just seeing the competitiveness of these women at the top of their game, right? They dream their entire life to score a goal in the World Cup. It just unbelievable joy when that success happens. So what I really want to talk to you about is, are you at the top of your game? So whether that's in a certain F word of life, and so if you're not familiar with the 7 F words of life, it's a framework that I created from a holistic position so that we can focus on your entire life, break it down into segments. We focus on your fundamentals, which is your self-care. We focus on faith, which is your connection to that which is greater than yourself. We focus on fitness, which is your overall health and vitality. So if you're not familiar with all 7, go to thefwordsoflife.com and share your email address with me. You'll get a series of emails in the beginning that talk about the 7 F words and how you can apply it specifically to your life. But what I want you to think about, if you're thinking about business, which is your fulfillment, if you're thinking of your finances, are you playing at a championship level? Do you have the mindset of a champion? What does that look like for you? And as I watch these people at the top of their game, let's take Brooks Koepka, for example, right? 2 U.S. Opens back-to-back, plus he won the PGA Championship, I think last year. You might get that one wrong, but last year or this year. But anyway, what's the difference in him? Most of those top golfers, if you look at their statistics, the statistics aren't that different. To get to that level, the difference in the physicality of their excellence and what they're able to do and how far they can drive it, it's not that significant. The difference of the champions and the ones that go on to repeat and have multiple wins is up here. And it's the ability to channel energy in a very specific way. It's the ability to take failure, because if you know anything about golf, there's 18 holes, and then if you're playing in a tournament, especially a major, you've got 4 days of that. Talk about consistency, right? You're going to have bad shots. You're going to have bad holes. You're going to score poorly, which could be looked at as failure. And you look at the people who throw their golf clubs, or they get pissed off and they, get frustrated, and suddenly their game goes sideways, right? They can't hit a shot again. Their score just keeps going down. The champions are the one that ask the right questions and figure out how to problem solve, and they turn that failure into fuel. And so that's the message for you today, is how can you turn the failures that you're going to face, whether that's in your health, whether that's in your business, whether that's with your family or your kids, how can you turn that failure into fuel to get you to the next level? Or to help you just keep going, because sometimes it's not even about getting to the next level, it's just about getting to the next shot, right? It's not about getting to the next win, it's just getting to the next shot and doing that well. So it's the next conversation that you have with your kid where you don't lose your patience, right? You don't lose your temper. You're actually able to sit and ask questions and listen with patience and grace and understanding, right? And so that's my question to you. How do you turn your failures into fuel? Are you currently doing that? And if you're not, I really want you to think about how you want to apply this to one area of your life. Share it with me in the comments. How are you going to apply turning failure into fuel this week, today? That's your action step, my friend. I look forward to seeing you on the next coaching show. Make it a good one. Turn that failure into fuel.